There is growing concern about students going back to school and how that is going to affect their mental health. Experts say many have had a particularly difficult summer because of COVID-19, and how we approach this next phase could prove critical to their well-being. Natalie Collada is looking into that part of the story for us. So, Natalie, there is a study on child mental health during the pandemic. What did the research find?
So, Natasha, this is a study that comes out of King's University College at Western University. They surveyed about 1,000 students across the province of Ontario after the schools were shut down. If people remember, that happened in mid-March. And one of the findings is that they say that this going back to school at present currently presents what they call a huge risk for the mental well-being and health of these students, particularly that the pandemic has had an outsized effect on them, that they are at high risk of higher levels of anxiety, loneliness, and depression. Those are the big three there. And that this is something that people need to look at very carefully. In fact, it's something we asked Dr. Peter Lynn about earlier today. Have a listen to what he had to say.
The most important thing is to get rid of the unknown. In other words, how are the desks going to be arranged? How are kids going to be going into the school? How do we have lunch, where the kids are going to be taking off their masks? Is it all going to be staggered? The more information we have about that right now, the better it is for the mental health of everybody, including teachers and parents and kids, because once they know what to expect, then it's easy. In other words, this is how I go to class. It's different than before, but I know that I'll be safe because all these procedures are in place.
So, Natalie, what kind of solutions are being put forward?
Well, we've heard a lot, Natasha, a lot has been made about class sizes, about circles, about pods, about masks in class, not masks in class. But one of the things that this study says is so crucial is to have a plan in place specifically to address mental health concerns. In fact, in Ontario, the provincial government's guideline for reopening talked about the fact that mental health is what they call, quote, a core element of their plan. But the details, the specifics of that were not released to date. In fact, we know that there is a consulting group by the name of School Mental Health Ontario. They are going to be advising local boards in Ontario. And what we do know is that in the biggest school board in Ontario, the Toronto District School Board, they are holding a virtual town hall this coming week. So we'll likely get more of an idea of concretely what steps they will be taking and what plans they will implement in order to improve and bolster these services for kids as they head back to school.
Okay, thanks so much, Natalie.
You're welcome.